must decide that we're going to be something or somebody ourselves. Mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, friends and companions, the preacher or the teacher, they can't make the decision for us. If we don't want to be anything, then no matter what opportunities present themselves to us, it will be like pearls being cast before swine. It will be wasted and we'll become nothing. We used to say, please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet. Now, if we want to be something, and if we want to do something worthwhile, then no matter what obstacles are set before us, we'll find a way of dealing with them. And when we find a way of dealing with them, God, the Holy Spirit, will direct us on how to handle them. Do you want to be healed? Our question challenges us to decide what kind of life we want to have. The lame man asked Jesus question by making up an excuse. Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is troubled. So while I'm going down, another steps down in front of me. That's a very touching story. But Jesus didn't ask him that. Now, if that would have been me or you, I think it would have been okay for him to tell us his life story. Jesus looked for a simple yes or no. And a lot of times, when we are faced with something and Jesus asks that question, we think, I can't go to church. I don't have nothing to wear. You know, Pastor said it's old-fashioned Sunday. Where the coveralls? Well, I didn't have no coveralls. But I'm still at church. Okay? We make excuses. Jesus didn't ask the lame man about his background. He didn't ask him about his disappointments. He didn't ask him about his frustrations and failed attempts. And as nosy as some of us are, we might take the time to ask these questions, but not Jesus. He asked a simple question that required a simple answer, yes or no. And the question was, do you want to be healed? Yes. This day, right here and right now, Jesus is knocking on the door of somebody's heart and he's asking them this simple question. We don't need to give the Lord a lot of answers to unasked questions. He's not asking us to give us some long, drawn-out, hearts and flowers story about who did what to us, about who talked about us, about who doesn't like us, about who won't work with us in the church. He's not asking us about how we got into the condition that we're in or how we allowed ourselves to get in such a position. He isn't asking us how long we've been like this or how many times in the past we tried to get right but we failed. He's not even asking us about how many opportunities of healings and salvation that we let go by and why.
All right.
He's certainly not asking us about anyone else's business, about anyone else's faults, about anyone else's failures. Jesus sees our condition. He knows what we need and has what we need. He's asking us a simple question and he wants a simple answer. Yes or no to the question, do you want to be healed? Let me get ready to close.
All right.
Jesus told the man, rise, take up your pallet, and walk. If we want to be healed, we're going to have to do some things ourselves. You see, the Lord didn't pull him up. He didn't prop him up. He didn't even reach down and give him a hand. The Lord told him to rise. He didn't, you know how pastor be preaching sometimes, we jump up and slap him on the back. He didn't slap him on the back. He didn't even touch the man. He just spoke a word of healing. You know, this man, the man had enough faith to be submissive to the word of Jesus. He had wanted to be healed badly now. He had to be desperate enough to obey Jesus' word, even when he was commanded to do what he seemed to be impossible to do. Do we want healing bad enough? Are we desperate enough for salvation to obey Jesus' word? And when he commands us to do difficult things, some of which may seem impossible to us, do we want to be made well? Jesus told the man, take up your pallet that he's been laying upon all of these years.
All right.
And my brothers and sisters, those of us who've been healed, we ought to not get up empty handed.
Yes, sir.
Right? You see, when we get up, we ought to have something to carry.
All right.
Well, some people carry bitterness from the past. Some people carry excuses for not doing more than what they're doing. Some people carry stones for throwing at their neighbor. Jesus told us what to carry. He said, if any man would come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. Take the pallets that once held us down, from which we could not rise, and carry them in our hearts. See, our pallets are our testimony, how far God has brought us. And if you don't believe that God's power is real, let me show you my power. See, not too long ago, somebody said I had cancer. You'll never preach again. But I stopped to tell you today that God said, take up the power. See, I learned when I had to walk by faith and not by sight. You have to walk with your head hung high, even though the world is on your back. You have to walk with a song in your heart, clapping in your hands, stomping in your feet. You have to walk telling somebody how good God's been to them. God's been mighty good. He's been mighty good to us. He woke us up early this morning. He started us on our way. So when you pick up your path, walk by faith. Do like the songwriter said. Step by step. Step by step. We will take this journey. But we must without faith in God. Stretch out on faith. Take one step at a time. Down in the valley of the gutter of life, God to keep you up. I want you to take one step. Live in adultery. Come on, take one step. Take one step. Your talent is gospel. I told you to take one step. Got to take that one step. You want to get to heaven? If you want to see Jesus, pastor can preach all he wants to. If you want to be saved, you got to take one step. You have to walk by faith.